Join Dessie Brown as he gives you inside access to industry leaders who are making it happen in entertainment, film, music, sports, and politics. It's the YouKnowDessie Show.
Yo, what's going on, my man?
Yo, listen, I want to apologize for my tardiness.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was at 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh.
So for some reason, yeah. So I was planning my whole day. As you can see, I'm outside. Normally, I'd be in a quiet room talking to you.
Yeah.
But I just stopped what I was doing and just ran outside.
It's all, man.
Yeah. I was about to start an editing session. I was like, whoa, what's happening? So here I am in New York City talking to you.
I appreciate
it. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm great, man. Welcome to the YouKnowDessie Show. I hadn't talked to Bree today, so then I was starting to get nervous, like, well, maybe it ain't happening today. But
no, that is completely my mistake.
Oh, good, man. So once again, welcome. I'm so honored that you're on the show. Man, you're a legend in the game. 5 Heartbeats. I know you've been talking about 5 Heartbeats a lot, but that is by far my favorite movie. And so I feel like, and we'll get into everything, but it's one of those where I feel like the movie 5 Heartbeats is like the most iconic movie, but I feel like your role in The Temptations is like the role that people probably talk about the most as far as the role. And I know there's some crossover as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the David Ruffin role has just become one meme after the next.
Yeah.
I think when you play a flashy role, lots of times people take to you whether they like you or not.
Yeah.
They just seem to remember the antics of the crazy person.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that unfortunately for many years to come, we'll probably remember the antics of Donald Trump for that same exact reason.
For sure. Yeah, that's definitely the unfortunate part of it.
But David Ruffin was talented, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. So talk about the differences in the way that you approach both of those roles, because I saw a recent interview where you talked about with, I guess, 5 Heartbeats, it was a role that you could create your own, whereas David Ruffin, you wanted to kind of, be in the mode of him so other people that saw it would know that you were capturing his essence.
Yeah, it's very important, I think, when you play a role of somebody that actually walked and talked on this earth, who has family, friends, and, a dynamic career, not to mention, that you have to at least capture the essence of their character.
Yeah.
It's very important that you do that because you want the people that actually knew him to at least say, okay, yeah, that was a good representation of him. Or that, I saw that role, I believed in that, and I knew him.
Yeah.
So it's important for me to try to get that when I portray that. I think I owe it to that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I know you played a lot of singers as well as those roles, and then also Little Richard. So how is your voice? Can you actually sing? Because I know you didn't sing in those like that. But
well, you mean to tell me that that you doing this interview? Because maybe I am mad at Bree now.
No, I know about
this interview, and you ain't listen to my band's albums.
I know about your group, but what I'm saying is, I know they use singers in those roles. So.
Oh yeah. Well, in the 5 Heartbeats, Robert Townsend he'd already cast the singers before he cast the actors.
Yeah.
Because he knew what each character's voice he wanted them to sound like.
Yeah.
Although I sang, Tico sang as well.
Okay.
But that didn't really matter because the voices that he had planned for our character, he already knew.
Gotcha.
One of the selling points of doing biopics sometimes of legendary singers and stuff is to be able to use the remastered versions of their songs.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you, yes, I sing.
Yeah.
I actually get paid to do it, but nobody sings like Dave Ruffin.
Exactly. Right.
Like there's nobody sings like Dave Ruffin. Nobody sings like Otis Redding.
Uh-huh.
nobody sings like Sam Cooke.
Right.
There's some people that like
certain iconic voices.
Their voices are so unique to them. It's not like someone doesn't sing as well as them,
Yeah.
but their voices are so unique to them,
Yeah.
and that they've had such iconic songs that there's no way in the world you can't tell if somebody is not singing it if it's them.
Yeah. And then so you definitely mentioned your band, and I know you're a man of many talents. You also you know, play basketball as well. So out of
not anymore.
Well, but back in the day. So
oh yeah, no, yeah, very much pro in Europe, Division I here, all city, all everything in New York City. Yeah, I grew up a baller.
Okay, so out of all of those talents, singing, acting, being a heartthrob, whatever you want to call it, what's your favorite out of all of them?
I don't really know if I have a favorite. I think that storytelling actually is probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the city noise.
No, you're good. Look,
you know, first and foremost, I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
So, you know, whether I'm acting in a movie or a play or a TV show, it's the overall story that's being told that I'm fascinated with. It's the overall story that I'm glad to be a part of.
Yeah.
So I would say if there's anything that I feel as though I am more than the next thing, would be a storyteller.
Yeah. And the other thing that I love about you, I feel like you're a true thespian from the standpoint of you won't just take any role. Like most of the roles that you play, there's always that extra substance to it. So, you know, how do you pick your roles and things like that?
Well, one, I have to say that unfortunately, during the course of my long career, that I have made a couple of errors in choices. That's because you realize you're not making the film; you're just a pawn in the process, and you're relying on other people to make it good.
Yeah,
and it doesn't always happen. But you know, as far as the roles I want to take, you know, like I say, I'm a storyteller, so it's important for my role to be part of the story.
Yeah.
So if you tell the story without my role, I'm usually not that interested in it. Yeah, because I mean, why I would be part of a movie, why I'd be part of a play, is because that character is intricate to the storytelling. So whether it's the lead character, whether it's the antagonist, or whether it's a key role that turns the plot around.
Yeah.
Like what I did when I did my uncredited role in Ali. That, you know, that's a small role that Michael Mann asked to do, but an important role.
Yeah.
Because when you realize who I was, it was like, oh wow.
Got it.
They done infiltrated the whole scene.
Yeah. And then I wanted to ask you, with all of the talented people you've played with, who kind of stands out as the one? Because, you know, even going back to the beginning of working with somebody like a Tom Cruise and being cast in a video with Madonna, and you mentioned Ali, so that's Will Smith, and of course you work with Tupac. So who do you kind of like, who is that one that you kind of just, you know what I'm saying, that you look to and say they were supremely talented, whether they were a musician, an actor, or whatever it may be?
Oh, you mean someone that I work with that I was really impressed with their talent?
Yeah. And it may not even be somebody that we would just readily know like that.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be on the acting front.
Yeah.
Because as much as I appreciate acting and love it, and a trained actor and appreciate other actors,
yeah,
I'm not impressed by him, because usually I expect that person to be good. You know, just like they expect me to be good, and I expect them to be the character that I'm talking to them in the show, and I'm the character that I am. So I don't really look at it that way. I would say it probably have to happen in the musical world, and I would by the greatest living one out there. His name is Barris Hammond.
Yeah.
And he produced my first single, and I've been on several tours with him.
Yeah.
And when he went in the vocal, I've seen him go in the vocal booth with no song and start humming out a melody and come out with an entire song, not writing down a single thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is that?
Right.
And then I say maybe another person would be Elton John. I have had the pleasure of knowing Elton John many years back. And, you know, he can stand underneath the piano. I watched him underneath the piano with just his hands up on the keys.
Still like that, yeah.
Yeah, like all you see is fingers.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, that's the kind of thing that probably have impressed me the most.
Yeah. Almost like how the guitar players would put the guitar out behind them and do different things.
Yeah, right. You know, they like those are kind of things that have impressed me with living people. But for the most part, the people that I've looked up to, admired, are usually people in the past.
Gotcha.
You know, whether Sidney Poitier or Errol Flynn or Cary Grant.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been fascinated with old Hollywood.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting as well that you were so fascinated with old Hollywood, because I know that when you were playing basketball, I guess in college, someone wanted to put you in a film or a play or something like that. And it wasn't, you know, you really wasn't even on that at the time. So, but it shows that you went back and did your research and everything like that, or just was always into it, you know what I'm saying, to even know the old people.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, once I decided to do it, I took it seriously and I trained. I changed my major, became a drama major. You know, I did scene study, I did technique, I did, you know, jazz, ballet, vocal lessons. I did a whole curriculum at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and HD Studio. You know, I mean, I got into it. That was what I did. I was training to be an actor.
Yeah. And then how did you feel when, of course, a lot of times you got casted as the heartthrob in a film, but you're a real actor. So how do you balance that part out and not like get typecast or anything like that?
Well, you know, to be lucky, I've been lucky, you know, not really to be typecast. I think, if anything, I'm, what would you call it? I have type appeal.
Yeah.
I haven't been typecast.
Yeah.
I mean, people will refer to me in a certain way quite often, but I don't always play those roles.
Right.
I play a wide variety of roles. So, you know, and I'm happy to say that, and I've been lucky and blessed to say that.
Yeah.
But as far as the heartthrob thing is concerned, you know, it's really funny because I didn't really think I've played those kind of roles to really warrant that, but yet I've got that label.
Right.
So the good thing about that is that when I do play that kind of role, they'll all come to watch because they've already dubbed me as that. So now I just need the role to solidify it. Like the coaches called my play at the goal line. I just need to cross the goal line now.
That's true. That's true. Because I know I've interviewed quite a few people, but I will definitely say when I posted that I was going to interview you, that's the most engagement that I've gotten for coming on my show. And look, and you know, I'm not a little casual, but I was like, ain't no telling what he gonna have on. So let me.
Yeah, well, you know, I checked a little bit of you out before I came on, and I said, this brother don't normally dress this way. He must have thought he's gonna do it. He's for somebody special today. And you know what? Normally I would be flattered, right? But after talking to you for a while, I can already tell you're a real brother.
Yeah.
And you put on that jacket for all the ladies that's tuning in. You ain't do it for me.
Man, I did it for you, man. Look, when I got Leon in the building, I got to dress accordingly, right?
Well, obviously, I didn't get the memo because I'm dressed the way I normally am.
Yeah. No, but you fly, though. Look, I already done peeped game. I'm like, okay, he fly. All right, cool.
What you know about this? Let me see. Can you see this? What you know about that?
Yeah. They look good.
With them old school Pumas.
Right. Yeah. Iconic. Uh, but talk about,
you got all dressed. You probably got some gaiters on or something right now.
No. Actually, I got his jeans on. I didn't even look. I know it's from the.
Oh, so you put on like your IG Live Zoom outfit. Well, you probably naked from the waist down.
Exactly. you know how Shaq.
I hope you at least put on some drawers for this interview.
No. Definitely. I can't be on here acting. I can't be on here bad like that. But you know how when you see Charles Barkley and Shaq, you know what I'm saying? When they pan around, you see them in hooping shorts and all of that. Nah. But yeah, man. Talk about your relationship with Robert Townsend, man. I think I just recently watched the interview that y'all did with Mike Hill on Fox Soul, which was a great interview, man, because I've always loved the back and forth that you and Robert have, even in looking at the making of Five Heartbeats, man. So talk about y'all relationship.
Well, I'm kind of mad at him right now. But, you know, brothers do get mad at one another.
Yeah.
But, no, you know, it was a very interesting time. You know, Robert saw me at the MTV Awards. I was there with Madonna. Mm-hmm. And he was casting the Five Heartbeats, and the cast director kept telling him about me.
Yeah.
And so after he saw me there, they called my agent and wanted a meeting. We had a meeting, and we got along great. You know, and I remember the first real time we did a rehearsal. He took me around the corner of when they were doing rehearsals and stuff, and he talked to me in a way that I had never. No director had talked to me before.
Yeah.
And he told me that he saw me as like a matinee idol.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the kind of actor that, you know, that women will come to see in movies, regardless of the movie. If they come to see me, very much the way they do with a lot of white actors, Brad Pitt, Allah.
Yeah.
He saw me like that, and I was like, "You do?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm with it. Let's go."
Yeah.
So, you know, when someone talks to you that way, you know, there's someone who's experienced, that has been in Hollywood, and, you know, you respect it, and you appreciate that someone thinks that way about you.
Yeah.
But, you know, being a kid, you know, has got some street savvy.
Mm-hmm.
And, growing up in New York City, when he first started talking to me like that, I was a little suspicious.
I'm like, hold on.
That's pimp talk. That's where pimp talks to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, what's this brother want?
Yeah, for sure. So, and then going to Above the Rim, you know, obviously that was a basketball movie, and you've recently talked about how that was probably outside of using actual professional basketball players, you feel like y'all had the most hoopers on a movie. So kind of talk about shooting that.
Well, no. I don't think. I mean, I never said that. There's no way we could have the most hoopers on a movie because.
Well, not the most, but I'm saying best. I guess maybe actor guys that can hoop.
Yeah, probably. But more importantly, I just felt as though it was one of the best. I mean, I always said it's the best street ball basketball movie.
Okay, gotcha.
Because one, the story, the realness of it, all the actors were really, you know, like it was a movie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? More than basketball, whatever. But then you combine it with the realistic basketball that's being played by the top street ballers in the city at the time, combined with myself, who was, all city basketball player in New York City, Dwayne, who got cut from one of the last guys cut from the Knicks.
Yeah.
You combine that with those guys telling that story, you know, on that level. That's why I feel it's the best street basketball movie. When you say best ball players, you can't say that. There's been movies, there's nothing but pro ball players on the set.
Right, for sure.
But you got to realize something about pro ball players on the set. I don't care how many movies Shaq does. I don't care how many movies LeBron does.
Yeah.
When LeBron's in a movie, or Kyrie Irving, anybody else, that's who they are.
Right.
They're Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
I don't care what the name is in the movie. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's who they are. If they're balling.
Yeah.
Now, if they're balling like that, Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not taking them out of the element. They're going to be exactly who they are in real life to you.
Right.
Okay. So therefore, you're not doing the main thing that's most important to me when I'm portraying a role. The most important, it's two things. The most important things for me as an actor. I'm supposed to take a writer's words, and bring them to life for you, so that you think that they're real.
Yeah.
And that I'm actually the person that is actually in this movie.
Right.
Okay. So I have no desire for you to think that I'm Leon when I'm playing a role.
Yeah.
My job is to make you believe that I'm Doris Bannock in Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
Or I'm David Ruffin in The Temptations.
Right.
Or I'm Little Richard. Even though you know the Little Richard, I'm hoping an hour into that movie, I'm your Little Richard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's, that's what I'm trying to do. And, when you have real ball players in movies basically playing themselves, in some aspects of the story, it's just not going to be real. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because a lot of times you'll see that when they start casting, like, and nothing to take away from these guys, but normally when you start seeing, like, athletes, pro athletes, or like rappers and singers and things like that playing in roles, sometimes they're just playing themselves. You know what I'm saying? More so than really into the craft. And I know sometimes that.
Well, if you don't have the ability or talent, more than likely you're not going to be able to convince people that you're anyone other than you are.
Yeah.
And then what happens is, unless you're playing a role that fits you, that's what you're going to play. But lots of times, someone who's not an actor, or who might be a rapper or a singer or whatever, can play a role if the role is right for them.
Yeah.
Like if they fit the guy and the story is right, they can shine.
Yeah.
There's no reason they can't shine, because they're playing something close to them, and that's who they are. And if the things around them, I think, the unfortunate part about lots of times when an actor, someone who's an actor or just a singer or anybody from another profession comes on and does a film or a TV series, whatever, the unfortunate part about it is sometimes they're not surrounded by really good actors who allow them to take whatever talent they have to another level.
Yeah.
And to be someone different. Sometimes they'll be in a situation where they're in a movie with a bunch of other actors and singers. But not actors, rappers and singers. Therefore, they may even be really good, but it almost looks to you like it's a music video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'll give you an example. Let's take someone I like Mary J Blige, right?
Yeah.
Who was in that really good movie last year, and I'm so happy for her that she got all attention, because I like Mary a lot.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons why Mary shined in that role is because it was a real good movie with a good story, and she was surrounded by other actors.
So she
has no choice but to simulate and blend in to become a real character like the rest of them.
Yeah.
But if you put her in a movie or TV show where she's surrounded by other people who are also rappers, singers, and stuff, then she doesn't have that chance. And so what I say to rappers and singers and stuff will venture off into acting, because I think it's great, especially if you have talent. I mean, it's been proven that anybody can do a great job if given a great role. Is that try to pick roles in movies in which they're trying to cast real actors along with you.
Yeah.
That's going to allow you to play better. It's no different than basketball, sports. The way you'd see my game if I played in a game with real good players, then if you saw my game at the Y, it would be different. If you saw me hit with a professional tennis player, you're going to go, wow, look the way Leon hits. Oh my God, he's amazing. That's because the ball is coming back to me at a pace and a consistency that is like you're bouncing lines in acting. You're bouncing lines off actors who are invested in their craft. It's like that. So it's coming back to you, and you're reacting in the right way, regardless of what you did before that. And so you have those advantages. You want that director's experience. You want that actors. You want those people surrounding you, because let's face it, a scene is only as good as the weakest link.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to have the most talented people around you, and it's going to make you shine.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Dope. So, and then I know I'm bouncing around quite a bit here, but talking about, your David Ruffin, and then Eddie Kane from the Five Heartbeats. I feel like both of them were, very similar in ways, and both had iconic lines. Like when I think of Eddie Kane, I always think of when he said, you want my spot when you can't get it because you ain't got it. Same way like you just said, as David Ruffin, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. So talk about both of those lines, and how they're so iconic within, culture.
Well, I mean, they're iconic because the storylines in the movies, are iconic. The Five Heartbeats is a movie that is become like our movie, the movie we watch at holidays and family reunions, and
yeah,
it was voted by AOL as the top African American movie in the last 25 years, and that's a movie that didn't even do well at the box office. People just learned to love that movie. So
right.
the lines and scenes are going to become iconic. Michael Wright, who plays Eddie Kane Jr., is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And he has very memorable moments in that movie because he was that character to a T.
Yeah.
And you can't imagine anyone else playing it. It was the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And the same thing with David Ruffin. David Ruffin he stood out in the movie because David Ruffin stood out in The Temptations. He was a lead singer.
Yeah.
And he had a certain style about him and a certain voice about him, which made him stand out. Unfortunately, his personality also stood out as well.
Right.
And that wasn't always to his favor.
Yeah. And then also watching I believe the Fox interview, it was funny. You what? Okay, you back. Yeah, when you mentioned about the same thing with you being in the group, like in the Five Heartbeats, right? Like the lead singer isn't the heartthrob, when normally in groups the lead singer is the heartthrob. So that caused friction within the movie, but also I guess maybe when y'all were doing press and different things like that, because people were there to see you.
Yeah, it does cause for a very weird dynamic.
Yeah.
And and the Five Heartbeats were like any other group. Like you talk about five men with five different personalities, with five different egos, getting together. There's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be egos. There's going to be sabotage. There's going to be, for whatever reason, it just happens. The one great thing about the movie is that it's about five men who at the end were still together as friends, despite all of it all. And the great thing about the Five Heartbeats, the actors, we're all still friends. I remember I was on social media going back and forth with Michael Wright 2 days ago. Me and Harry watched football. Me and Harry watched football games yesterday.
Yeah.
Tico's like the organizer. He keeps us in line with everything going on in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Look, as choir boy, that's what you choir boy would do.
Exactly.
And then I also want to touch on the things that you're working on now. I know you have a project, I guess a limited series that's coming out on Netflix. So talk about.
So what you're talking about is 40 and Single. 40 and Single is the winner of the LA Film Festival.
Yeah.
That's that pilot that I'm also executive producer of. It was shot in. It was created by and directed by Layla Johnson, who was a BAFTA winner, and it's a really wonderful series. You can see it here in the U.S. now.
Okay.
It's streaming on UMC TV.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just go to watch UMC or go to UMC.tv, and it's streaming there now. And it will be available in the UK and Africa in 2 days.
Okay. Yeah, and shout out to UMC as well, because that's where I saw the making of Five
Heartbeats. You can see that documentary that Robert did a fantastic job on. Yes.
Yeah, that's great, and I thought you had some great moments in it as well, because they definitely couldn't have done that without talking to you and having some interviews with you in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of me in there, yeah.
Yeah. And then before I get you out of here, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but before I get you out of here, I also want to, touch on above the rim a little bit. So talk about, working with Tupac and just seeing him for, for what he was, because I saw your Vlad TV interview and you talked about how you felt in some way that his destiny was fulfilled because of the work that he did and even in some of the music, lyrics, and things like that. So just talk about,
Well, no, I don't know if his destiny was fulfilled, but it seemed like maybe his destiny was fulfilled in the sense that how he thought his life was going to play out.
Yeah.
If you look at the records that have come out after his death, it almost looked like he knew he wasn't going to be around long.
Right.
Just being around him, it looked like he led a very volatile life.
Yeah.
And he constantly pushing that button, constantly putting himself in situations that he really didn't need to be in.
Yeah.
The level where he didn't really need to be involved in the stuff that he was involved with. It was unfortunate. And when you're in situations like that, when you stay in situations like that, in some way or another, you're going to pay for it. And I don't care who you are. I mean, even if you're a fighter, no matter how great of a fighter you are, if you keep fighting, you're going to get your ass beat by somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn when to do what you do and get out that.
Yeah.
And I saw far too many times where he was, concerned with things he just didn't need to be concerned with.
Right.
Concerned with, somebody selling his T-shirts on Broadway. And he wanted to go up there and, just take everything off the shelf and beat up everybody in the store. Like,
yeah. That's what you got security for. That's what you got a team for. You shouldn't be doing anything yourself. Yeah. Even with, that was a crazy thing about the fight, because I know you sat, I guess, near him or with him at the Tyson fight, correct?
Yeah, I saw him the night he died. Yeah, we were all there together. We were all talking, hanging out, watching the fight. He was crazy at the fight. Yelling, he was hyped. And then I heard about the fight afterwards in the lobby, and then we were all hanging out doing what we were doing, and then we got the news that he got shot. And I just saw it before, and it was, with all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
With East Coast, West Coast, and and then knowing about the fight that night, and knowing how hype he was and how volatile he was at any moment.
Yeah.
It's almost like, damn. But then, like a part of you wasn't surprised.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't surprised because it was just so many. These situations just kept happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't shoot off-duty police officers. You don't get shot unless you're in them situations.
Right. Sure.
So I mean, you got to find a way to get out of them situations. You got to find a way to rise above that at some point.
Yeah.
Or what's going to get you.
Yeah.
And but look, everyone's not meant to live long lives. Everyone's not meant to be here for a long period of time. That's just the way it is. We don't know people's destiny. We don't know how long they're supposed to be with us, what they're supposed to achieve. Yeah. So that's why I see so many people saying this now. And they say it about me even, and I'm flattered, always. Yeah. But it's like, appreciate the people that are here now.
Mm-hmm.
Give them their flowers when they can appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
We don't know when they're going to go on. If you love somebody, you love a singer, an actor, a person, whoever they are.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know now. Let them feel the appreciation of what they're doing. Now, because we lose a lot of people way too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes into, that was the very reason that I wanted to reach out to you and your team to get you on the show, because I started this show during the pandemic, and it was like I have a lot of contacts and things like that, and people are at home more often because people are out of work, and it's like, man, I wonder what different people have going on, man. Let me reach out and see if I can hop on a live and interview and find out things that I've always wanted to know. You know,
Right.
I've always been a big fan of you and your movies and things like that. So let me ask what fans want to know. You know what I'm saying? From my perspective. So, man, I'm so thankful that you took out the time to, be on my show. So I really appreciate you. And as you mentioned, getting your flowers, man, I definitely want to give you your flowers, man. I'm so appreciative of you.
Well, one, thank you very much, because I'm appreciative of anyone who appreciates me. Thank you for having me on your show. I think that's important. Yeah, do I get a lot of requests to be on shows? Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of them I can't do, whatever. But
yeah.
I always appreciate people asking.
Yeah, for sure.
Because one day they may not ask.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to take the appreciation. A question people always will ask me is this, and this is my final thing, because I got to go and you got to go.
Yeah.
They always ask, like, what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
They always hear that. And my answer is always the same. My favorite movie is your favorite movie. Because I don't watch my movies, you watch them. And
right.
so it's whatever one you resonates with you,
mm-hmm.
the one you feel, the one that you like the most, the one whose lines you repeat.
Yeah.
That's the one I love the most, because that's the one you felt.
Yeah.
And that's what I love to do. I love to do movies, projects, songs, whatever, that resonate with people, that they really feel.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll remember.
Absolutely, man. So I hope you have a great day. Once again, appreciate you jumping on. Look, I know you cool because you sat outside the whole time and did not have one Wi-Fi issue. Because like usually when I'm interviewing people and they're outside, I'm like, man, I hope their Wi-Fi work, man. Because
I'm gonna be honest with you, this is the first one I've ever done outside. And I only did it because I found out I was late and jumped on it because I appreciate everybody's time. This is your show, and you publicized it. You publicized me.
Yeah.
I want to be there for you. I don't want to not be on time. I want to be there for everybody that tunes in. So for everybody that is listening, for anybody that tuned in today, this afternoon, I apologize if I was a little late, but I really appreciate you coming on, checking out my man. Keep watching this show, and of course, please keep watching me. All right.
Most definitely. Peace, man.
Okay, man.
Great day, my brother.
Okay. All right.